Hey, today's shave is the Lather Games Day of the brand that is Mickey Lee Soapworks. And my favorite so far from them is a departure from a lot of their work, and it's very masculine, Unforgiven, and it's got some pungent, bitter types of aromas in there, like tar or um, leather, that sort of thing. I really like it. And I have spooned out, this has been lathered as you can see, but I've spooned out a quarter of a teaspoon from the soap and smeared it into the bottom of my Dollar Tree soup bowl. And the blade we'll be using today is looks like this, the wrapper does. Because it doesn't say Gillette Wilkinson sword, I believe that means this is the German version. They are made in either Germany or India. I have a big old pack of the Indian version, and it's a very good economical blade. It's one of my best value blades, that I just keep around. And so I believe this is the German version. I'm not certain on that. I got it from tryablade.com, and so that's why I don't have the box for it, because I got individual blades. All right, to reach back into the Old West, or at least a time period closer to it than today, I dug out a wounded Old Type from Gillette, a vintage razor, and if you look right there, we've got some teeth. A tooth missing on the corner, and then this corner tooth is bent in, so I won't be using this side. And what I'll probably do is rotate the blade halfway after the first pass of the shave. So I'll treat it like a single-edged razor today, and we'll see how it does. And inside, of course, is already the blade. The brush today is the Pro 48 by Omega. It is a honker of a brush. This is a Boar brush, of course. It's been soaking for a few minutes. One thing that I really noticed about this brush from the beginning was how amazingly comfortable this handle was. It's huge compared to most other ones, and it's so comfortable for my hands. I think we're ready to go. Let's get some water. On my face. Also, this is a crazy big brush in terms of display, because these bristles are so long when compared to other brushes. All right. And so in the beginning it was cool because it was a young brush, it wasn't splaying too much. I am interested to see what happens to it when it gets a little older. And display is just crazy because, as you can see, I've got a narrow tract of land. I've got this goatee in the middle, and so I've got this narrow U-shaped thing that this big brush may become too much for. We will just see. And these bristles just get floppier and floppier. It's just fun. The scent is coming right up. All right. I will use this medicine dropper to count the water. So today is the Mickey Lee brand day, and I understand that it's a lady who does the development on that, all the work, and her name's Sammy, I believe. So, for the post shave, I'm sticking with the Maker, and the only one I had on hand was the Kraken, a sample of the Kraken. So already with just the dampness from the brush and a half teaspoon, we're getting some nice early thick lather. And we've got a teaspoon in there. Loving this big handle. So I am traveling for probably most of the rest, for a good bit of the lather games. We lost a bristle. So that'll make it very interesting. I'm not going to be able to do as well regarding the uniqueness of different items. Hopefully I can keep up with my soaps and at least make them unique. A little hard to do when you're traveling around. We had the rest of the 2 teaspoons. Quarter teaspoon is the amount of soap that I'm starting out with. I believe that Mickey Lee needs me to use all of that. It's looking nice, bit of a sheen. Drove for several hours today, and it's really late at night. Actually, it's well into the next morning. So if I just keel over and go to sleep, you'll know why. And there we go. We are at quantity. Now, are we at texture? I think I'll go a little further. Got a few more wrinkles and hills than I usually like, but Mickey Lee is not one of the ones that I can push quite as hard with the water as others. Do a little finger test while we're here. A little bit of cushion. Not tons of lubrication, so I better stop now just in case. Kind of water-like lubrication rather than a soap-like one. So we'll stop. Planned out how many razors to bring on my travels. So that I could have a different one each day to try to put forth my best effort to compete in the lather games. And then I discovered that one of the ones I brought I had already used, so I was off by one. Well, I'm a pack rat. So I looked through my DOP kit, and sure enough, There's this guy right here. So he fits the bill today. All right. Make sure I remember which side is the good side. All right. Old Type with a Wilkinson sword, probably German, is what we're going to be using. So, oh, that scent is nice. I love the strength of it. It's present as I'm applying it. Oh, these bristles are soft, you know. Sometimes with the boars to make up for bristles that aren't super tippy and thin and stuff on the tips, they'll just make the bristles longer, and they do this for badgers as well. And that gives them plenty of flex and makes them seem softer. Why not? This is going to be a luxurious lather. Could probably add a little bit more water to that if I wanted. Yeah, see, look at the it looks almost like dragon scales or something, and that means I can push some more water into it. Put a little bit more into the bowl. That'll be good for the next couple of passes. As we always say, it is much easier to add water after the fact than to try to take it away. Lather feels good, looks good, smells great. Look for the missing tooth, make sure I'm shaving on the right one. Let's give this Old Type. And this is the ball end hand. Oh, this is nice. I had no idea how this would shave. A lot of blade feel, but the blade is sharp, and so it's just mowing down the hairs with no pulling. Very nice. There are some of the older razors that I've shaved with, and I'm like, this is just pulling so hard, you know, so rough. And then one of the issues with that is that it's kind of how they made them back then, because people were transitioning away from straight razors. And so I've heard that one of the issues is they would intentionally have them be just a little on the rough side, because that's what people were expecting. Because the shave they have previous was a straight razor. And then later on they started smoothing them out, and goals and expectations started to change. Okay, I'm gonna rinse, partial rinse. And so I've got a Gillette New, a couple of those, and they're just so rough that a lot of blade feel that I just don't use them almost at all. But this guy right here, I could see using him every day and have it be an enjoyable experience. All right, now I focused on just some hair removal by layers and not trying to take everything off. Wasn't being too picky, because after all, we're doing multiple passes. Love this brush. See how quickly it just laid down that nice little layer. All right. This is also a great example of a brush that has very little weight in the handle of the brush. It's like aluminum or plastic or something, and so it's very light. And so it's good to experiment with that because I have some other brushes that are heavy. Still got that blade feel, but it feels very controlled and safe. As opposed to the modern or even vintage mild razors. One nice thing about the more aggressive razors like this, in many cases, and some people might not call this an aggressive razor, maybe it's mid-aggressive, you know, partially aggressive. Yeah, that's what I'd say. But I think it's got a nice, a wide angle of effectiveness in that you can pick what you like instead of being stuck in a small window of the angle that you have to use. If you like kind of a scrapey shave where your handle is more close to your face, then this razor can let you do that. Very nice. It's just a lot more comfortable than the some of the other older Gillettes that were made about this time. So this soap base is not the best performing out there, but it's good. It's pretty good. I'd say it's above good, and it's very serviceable. So you'll get nice, enjoyable shaves with it. I am currently getting one, and you can build yourself up some creamy lather, which I did that first pass. I like it a little thinner, and so I thinned it down just a little bit. Ready for the third pass now. I was in an art class long ago, my college days, intro to art, a little bit of painting. There was a girl in there who was a very good artist, but her specialty was like a tiny, tiny canvas, and she would have these tiny brushes and be very particular. And it was almost like she was trying to create a realistic, like a photo. But the art teacher was like, no, if you want a photo, take a photo. And he said to cure her of this, she was so just tight and focused on these tiny, tiny details. He said to cure her, what he might do one day is to give her a canvas the size of a door and give her a 3-inch wide carpenter style paintbrush and say, here, this is what you use. And so when I use this Pro 48, sometimes I think of that. Very, very nice shaver here. I could definitely see, and obviously this Wilkinson sword blade here is just doing really well. So it's a great match, and I'm doing fine in remembering which side to shave on. I forgot to switch it though. Maybe a little bit of redness in an area that for some reason I just seem to get it. It doesn't feel like it's irritated, but it just shows up. So very comfortable shave. Oh, the scent is still around. Oh, that's so nice. All right, I'm going to pause you for a final rinse and look at the situation. A lot of the Mickey Lee scents that they make just weren't for me. Classic scents. But there's a part of that classic scent profile that is kind of on the feminine side, and that's not what I want to smell like, and that's okay for other folks. I'm so glad that they made this. Very, very glad. That is very nice. Wonderful scent. Shave quality is about average, so let's go ahead and do another pass just on my neck here. All right. Angle the razor, orient the razor the right way. Few little stray hairs over this way. Got a pocket right here that I have to shave in that direction. Over here, this is my trouble area, if you haven't seen any of my other videos. And so this is the area where I have to think and be very purposeful about the direction if I want to get a best possible scenario. Everywhere else, it's not a big deal. I am blessed in that regard. Man, there are some guys who just have swirls, twists and turns all over their face and neck. That's very interesting, because this is a typical area that I have a problem with, and it got shaved very well. Just some of the tips are there, which is fine. That's above average. But move this way about 1/2 inch, and I see some length on a few of the hairs, so that's an area that's usually not too much of a problem to mow down. Anyway, but that'll do. Great shave. Very comfortable. I did not bring on any razor burn because of the extra touch-up pass. And it hit, as I was drying off just now, it hit me that Cowboy plus Kraken equals pirate. All right. Now, let us go ahead and do the splash. So this is Kraken from Mickey Lee. It's an aquatic type scent. Oh, that's nice. Now it feels very much like just kind of an alcohol-based product, and it might have some other kind ingredients to your face, like aloe or glycerin or something like that. But it seems like it's focused mainly to be alcohol and a scent for you. If you have sensitive skin, you may want to make sure to follow it up with a balm, like an unscented balm, or to put on the balm beforehand, let a little time go by, and then put on the aftershave, the splash. I've also seen people spray the back of their neck instead of the front, so they get the scent, but the a little of the mist is running around. So they get the scent, but it doesn't abuse their freshly cut face. All right. Now, right now I have that aftershave. Let's smell the puck at the same time. That definitely goes together. How about that? Mix those two and you have a pirate scent, right? Gunpowder, leather, tar, and aquatic. I like it. All right, there we go. Very nice. Comfortable shave. I was really surprised because I believe I've tried an Old Type out before, but this one with this blade worked just really well. And it's the first use of the blades. I would wager that the second use will be even more smooth. Very surprised. I expected it to be just where there's just too much blade feel, because that's what's happened before. But this is almost like a modern razor. Well, you know what I did, actually? Since I knew I was only going to be using one side of it, and this may be the whole reason for the thing. Look at this is the wounded side over here. Look at the amount of blade that's protruding from the top cap. Now here it is over here, the side that I was using. See, there's less. I intentionally pushed the blade away from the using side over here so that it would be more recessed. If I was using a normal Old Type that wasn't broken, I would be putting it in the middle, and so it would be a rougher shave. So that's a little trick, a little hack. If you got an Old Type and you want a smoother shave, then just use one side, push the blade to the other side, and you'll get a smoother shave. All right, I want to clean up while I enjoy this, all the scents that are rolling around here, and I'll be back. So how much water did I end up using? About 3¼ teaspoons of water for about 1/4 teaspoon of soap. I'll also mention the water at this location is soft, which is nice. So it's not going to get in the way of any lathers. Here's that brush kind of washed out a little bit, slung out. So here's what this blade looks like for the Wilkinson sword. And this is very different than the ones that I have, which are definitely from India. So I'm going to guess it's from the German factory. And it did well. I'm happy with it. Let's take a final. Yeah, it did really well. Very above average in this kind of normal zone where I am constantly fighting to try to get a good cut. So this razor and this blade, great combo. Well, there we go. Would I enjoy having this set up if I was stranded on the desert island and this was all I had for 20 years? Definitely. Even this busted up razor that only shaves on one side safely, because it was a great shave. The blade was terrific. I've been telling you it's a good match. Love the scent, so much character. It's not overwhelming. It's just present. It is strong, and I'm sure there's some people that would be bothered by it. But to me, the scent strength is just perfect. I would say it's like a 5 out of 10. That's where I like it. Result shave, very above average. Very happy with it. Irritation and comfort, 1 out of 10. Good balm, takes care of it just fine. And there we go. I think that's about it. I'm really interested in seeing if anybody has any kind of pirate type soap scent profile, because this aquatic combined with the kind of the manliness of the Unforgiven, the cowboy type, is just a great combo. So I like it. Might have to poke around, or I could mix it. I could mix it myself. Take an 1/8 of a teaspoon of the Kraken, the aquatic soap, which I have at home. 1/8 of a teaspoon of Unforgiven. Boom, there we go. All right, I'm going to try that sometime. All right, so there you go. I hope this helped you in some way. My first shave with what I believe are the German Wilkinson swords, and they did great. Some people can definitely tell a difference between the two versions when they shave. At the time when I bought my Indian ones, bought a 100-pack, and because they're so economical, that it looked like that might be the better blade for me at the time, and it was a great blade. But I might have to, who knows, I might have to look out those German ones, and if they're at a good price too, test them out a little bit more. So, so there we are. Big old floppy Boar brush. How about that guy? But he makes short work of that painting process. And there we go. This soap. Oh, this soap. Like I said, Mickey Lee, the base may not be quite as slick and lubricative as some out there, like maybe Sterling, Barrister and Mann, some of the big players. Holy cow. But with a scent like that, I'm definitely going to be keeping that in my bin, because the slickness and performance isn't, up there. We're just quibbling about little stuff. It's still very good. Very good. So happy with it. All right. That's it. Take care. Have a good night.